Hello universe, I'm stressed and I would love to make an unrealistic video where I go to a forest cabin for 5 days to meditate and journal and feel so much better, but I want to be real with you. I neither have the money or the time to do that, and most people don't. So sometimes you just have to deal with things as they come, especially stress, because if stress is left unchecked, it builds up and it just becomes worse and worse and worse. And at some point, it's going to reach a breaking point. Stress does make people sick, and it has made people sick in my family, and it's just a horrible thing to see because it doesn't have to happen. If you are so stressed and so in your head and so busy that you cross the street without looking and you get injured, anything can happen if you are overwhelmed. And that's why it is so important to try to work on that stress every single day, to let out a little bit of it and make sure that you are checking in with yourself. So yes, I am stressed, but I am working my very best to go against that. I have cut myself some pears, I have some candles on, I have a delicious cup of tea. But today I just want to have some pears and tell you a few ways that I cope with stress. And let's go. The first thing I've written down is you want to be extra gentle and you want to check in with yourself. So sometimes we might be really hard on ourselves when we're stressed, but right in that time of stress, the thing that you need to hear is something positive. Even though it's not some kind of magic, it does work. I have been telling myself negative things before in times of stress, and what I tell myself now is, okay, you have a lot of work, but you're doing well. You're showing up every single day, and that is enough. If you can't do it right now, you should take a break, see what you need to hear, and tell it to yourself. Give it to yourself. Tune into your small needs like water, breaks, and a little social time. Give yourself the bare minimum at least, because if you don't, it's only going to get worse. If you are thirsty, make some water. Make some delicious tea and enjoy that, a little bit of extra something. And if you need to have some social contact, send a friend a nice message, ask them about their day. You don't have to spend an hour talking to them. Never skip a day outside, especially in nature. When I have felt bad in the past, there have been days where I didn't go out for days, and what that made me feel like is not more relaxed because I spent them in bed or something like that. It made me feel stale and uninspired. So now I've told myself every single day I have to find a reason to go out, because that makes it a little bit more interesting. Whether you're going to buy a new kind of tea, maybe you could do your yoga session outside. Just going out every single day is a great form of self-care. Move your body every day in whatever way possible. Anything counts. Because if you don't really move your body at all, you also start to feel a little bit stale. And I'm not going to be a propetitor here of some crazy workouts or a daily workout schedule. I've actually found that it is enough to put on your favorite song and dance for 5 minutes and you will already feel better. Just any kind of movement will help you to build down that stress and put some happy hormones in your head and feel better about yourself, because you have showed up for your body and not just for whatever things are calling to you in your daily life. Cook healthy meals, even if they are fast meals. I know this is not easy, and I have myself been a university student that eats a lot of pasta and canned goods, but I also never went and bought a microwave dinner. So you can eat food that is relatively healthy to other things without spending too much time on it. If you are curious, I just recently made an extremely easy minimalist cooking video, and that might be a good place to start. And most days I don't take more than 10 minutes to cook when I'm stressed, and it is really healthy food. Give yourself small luxuries. So this is what I've done right here. I might not have time to go out tonight. I might not have the time to play a game, but I do have the time to drink a tea while I film a video, and I can make that a nice tea. And I can film the video and have my candles on that smell really good. And I could do it while eating pear and taking care of my body, because it's not some kind of chips. Is it going to be a nice picture in your room, or is it going to be the decorations or the food that you're going to have that day? Something can make you feel really good today, and it doesn't have to be anything grand. Find a deeper contact to at least one person. Even if this person doesn't do anything super special for you, then just being there is so much better than having to do everything by yourself. And obviously when you're stressed, you can't take care of 20 contacts. Go to your one contact and talk to them. Create to-do lists and brain dump so your head doesn't overflow. I realized that one of the first things that makes me stressed altogether is having a lot of thoughts in my head. And once you put them down, things start to look much better, and you can see how you can divide your time. So maybe you won't be able to do everything today because that's just realistic, and then you can put one task off and do it tomorrow, and that is going to be perfectly fine because it's going to happen anyway. It's just not going to make your head explode. Create space for an empty mind. If you are too stressed to sleep well, if you are too stressed to ever sit down and just take a breath or have some kind of mindful moment in your day, then you are way too stressed. So you want to make sure that there are things that are sacred for you. For example, I will always have 8 hours of sleep, and to have my sleep be undisturbed and as calm as possible, I know that I need a bedtime routine. Maybe bedtime tea that will make me a little bit more sleepy, maybe do a yoga session, maybe have a good read and just make myself feel really good so that these thoughts are alleviated a little bit and I can have that rest that is going to be imperative to me doing anything at all the next day that is remotely productive and is going to help me deal with the thing altogether. Create little spaces for mindfulness. Sometimes when you're stressed, you can't really make that extra quiet moment. You maybe cannot go out for a really long walk, but you have a short walk while you're going to the post office, or while you're walking to your car, or you have a quiet moment while you're cooking dinner, you're cutting up those vegetables. So you don't have to fill that moment with something. You don't have to watch a YouTube video while you're doing it. You don't have to scroll memes while you're doing it. Just let yourself be in the quiet a little bit and alone with your thoughts. Let them go as well as you can, because if you ignore yourself, if you never give yourself quiet moments, your head is just going to overflow. Affirmations. If you keep telling yourself that you are completely awful, no matter what the actual circumstances are, at some point you're going to believe that, and that is the power in words. Sure, they are just words, but we are affected by them. As you know, you feel good when somebody loves you. You feel bad when somebody leaves a hate comment. It is completely normal. So try to find the words that you need to hear. You don't have to chant anything, be like, I am the very best in front of the mirror or something like that. I have a tough time, but I am doing good. Every day I am doing a little bit more, and soon I will have completed it. And just tell yourself that. Why not? Use the quiet moment that you have and tell yourself that. Give yourself a pat on the back. Maybe you can write it down if it's easier for you. You can journal it somewhere and just leave it there. Maybe read it later. It is powerful. A really nice analogy that I wrote down here is that being stressed is like running a really long race that you know that you're going to have to last for a little while in. And this daily tips that I gave you just now are like putting on your running shoes. You know you will be tired at the end and your feet might hurt, but if you go barefoot, your feet will be injured. They will be bleeding. You might have some lasting injuries. And if your feet are just tired, if you've just had your shoes on for too long, you will get better eventually, but you don't want those lasting injuries. So if it gets too bad, you notice things like pimples. I'm wearing pimple cream right now. I want to be real with you. This is how I look right now. If you notice that your period is late, I don't know, any other kinds of physical stress, then you need to make a hard cut. Sometimes you do need that 5-day break. Maybe it's a 1-day break for you, but you need to know where your boundary lies and protect that boundary. In conclusion, tune into yourself, see what you need to do for yourself, and if it gets too bad, alleviate it in some way. Maybe you can drop something altogether, maybe you can delegate it, maybe it is not as important as you thought. Have a pair and have a lovely evening. I'm going to go and relax. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share with me how you feel in the comments and we can talk about it. I answer every single comment I've ever gotten. That's a pretty good track record. Goodbye.